Ask the Expert with our friends from Doyle and Salewski. Still a chance for you to get a question in here in our last segment if you'd like. And we'll let you know just how to get in touch with Brian Doyle and his team here in just a few minutes as well if you need to go down that road. Speaking of that road, we just had a call from Julie, and unfortunately we lost her phone call, but we can answer. Oh, we do have a request? Oh, we do. Julie is joining us on the telephone this morning. Julie, how are you?
Good morning. I'm good. My question is, I went through a reputable credit counselor, and I've paid off all my debt, and it's been over a year.
Right.
What can I do, or how long do I have to wait to reestablish my credit?
Good point. That is a very good question, because obviously Julie has taken the steps necessary to get things back in order. But where does she go from here?
Well, we would give her advice on how to rebuild her credit, but we do have an individual we refer some people to who actually is a specialist in credit rebuilding. Mm-hmm. So if she calls our office, we'll be glad to refer her to this individual.
Is that a separate sort of entity than what you do? Because you're involved in helping people get out of financial difficulty in one particular way, right? Or many ways. But
that's right.
Establishing your credit is separate from that?
It's a separate thing, but it does help reestablish your credit once you go through our process. And then we will offer suggestions like getting a secured credit card, paying that off regularly every month, buying a car on credit at the time you can afford it, and making sure the payments are made every month, paying the balance in full.
Right.
So these types of things are natural to us. We'd be glad to give you that help. But credit repair and actually looking at the credit rating and trying to fix it is a specialty. Yeah.
So make sure you get in touch with, and you can point them in the right direction.
Yes.
To make that happen. I have a question about these paid in advance credit cards, and I see some signage and commercials all over the place, and you have to be a little wary of these things as to where you would go to make that happen, right? Because should one go through a bank or some of these other areas that I see out there?
Well, personally, I go to the bank. I haven't gone to these other areas, so buyer beware.
Well, it's a good point, because they are aggressive in their advertising. They're aggressive in getting people to come in and get a secure credit card with them.
Yes.
But there's a huge charge that comes with that, right?
That's right, and I watch the charge as well. I think the last time I paid for a credit card, prepaid credit card, which is actually a birthday gift for my daughter-in-law, I paid $3.50.
Yeah.
So that was nominal, and very glad to have that service.
Yeah, it's a different thing altogether when you're going to reestablish your credit with one of these secure credit cards. You really go to...
Well, the secure credit card we talk about, for example, is with Home Trust. You have to put a balance with them of about $1,000. And that we find a pretty effective way of rebuilding credit, because it is a true credit card, but you're just maintaining a guarantee in a deposit with them.
Yeah, it's already paid for.
And we've not heard anything negative back from that, so we're glad to recommend it.
Yeah, just be careful of where you get that credit card from.
Right.
We have another caller on the phone. Mike is with us this morning. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good.
Good. What's your question?
I've lost my job just this year, and I bought a new car last year, and I'm finding it with house payments and mortgage and all that, everything else, a little much to keep up.
Right.
It's a year old, and I think I have it.
Right.
It's 7 years on no interest. What's my best bet if I'm not able to hang on to this car?
So, do you want to get rid of the car, Mike?
I don't see me keeping it much longer the way things are going.
Right. That's a good question. So what do you do? Obviously, Mike had a good job where he could afford certain things, but then that job disappears. First thing he thinks about is getting rid of a high car payment, and that's not a bad option.
Well, certainly we'd like to assess his whole situation and see what he can afford and can't afford. But if you can contact the party with the chattel mortgage on the vehicle to discuss your situation, because they certainly don't want you to default.
No.
And maybe there's something they will do, but unfortunately some of them are a little tough and a little hard.
Right.
And won't vary the terms of the contract. And at that point, we have other methods to be able to deal with them, and we can often, I won't say threaten them, but we can offer them certain outcomes if they don't cooperate.
I think the bottom line here, Brian, is this. When it comes to an individual, dealing with people, with companies, when you run into a situation is oftentimes difficult because you don't have a full grasp of what can be done and what the options are. right? Bringing in a professional to deal with these companies, like, for example, the car leasing or the car company, whatever that might be, really helps out because you know your way around things. You know that there are several options out there, and you know how to deal with the finance side of a big car dealer, for example.
It's surprising how many people, after they've dealt with this, really express and they say, well, we didn't know we could do that.
Yes.
We didn't know that was possible. You mean we can get our income taxes forgiven? Mm-hmm. We don't have to be stuck with that debt for life, or some other types of debt they think are sacrosanct and cannot ever be eliminated, but they can.
I think the bottom line for a lot of people is they should understand that there is a way through hard work and consultation and so on to get out of these situations and to make your lives more better financially and to take the weight off your shoulders.
Get rid of that stress. Yes.
Yeah. We got to run, but thank you, my friend. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure with you, Kurt.
Doyle Salewski, give him a call. Get that free consultation. You'll be glad you did. And like Brian said, there are many cases where people wish they had done it way sooner. 20 minutes before 10 o'clock, a quick break. We're back with more of CTV Morning Live right after this.